Okay. We're back. Thank you for hanging tight. We're working with some new technology. As you can see, we have a real pretty screen out there for you, letting you know who we are and who we're supporting today. Tia Talks with PAnn Contreras and my guest, Linda Medina, with Creating Quantum Solutions. And we're going to be talking a little bit about credit repair and all the services that Linda has learned about in her career. Linda, can you please tell us a little bit about your business?
So my business is Creating Quantum Solutions, and I do credit education and repair. And so what I mean by credit education and repair is that I'm available to do workshops for other services that want to teach others on credit repair, and I help people build and repair their credit. A little bit about me and my background. I used to work for a company, and I worked up to overseeing the debt collection side of the company as well as the credit reporting side of the company. And during that time, I learned all the ins and outs of credit. I started as an analyst, and I made my way to be the director of compliance. So I had to know all the different credit laws, all the do's and don'ts of debt collection, what they should say, what they should not be saying, and what they can get sued for, because I handled the legal side of it too. So all the lawsuits that would come in, I would work with our attorneys to get those settled or dismissed. And during that time, I got about 56 lawsuits settled or dismissed. Yes. So
you know your stuff.
Yes, over time I learned my stuff, and I knew my stuff, and I got good at it.
That's great.
And when I started, I didn't know anything about credit. I didn't know anything at all about it. And working there, I was able to build on that knowledge, use that knowledge to help me get a better understanding. And at the time, my credit score was like 590, and I was able to bring that up to 100 points plus over a year time just by applying what I learned, because I did not know.
Little tricks, right?
Yes. It's little tricks, and I did not know anything at all. When I went to go get a vehicle, when I got my first vehicle, I let the salesman run the show and do whatever. And he said, oh, this little car, $400, $500. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, right.
And here I was, a young person, not really knowing anything about it. And I just knew that, or I was, I guess, naive that they were doing what was best for me. But in turn, later, I realized it's not best for me. It was best for them, them making a sale, them making a commission. But as I learned, I was able to build my confidence in credit and understand it more. Mm-hmm. So now when I go to the dealership, I tell them what I want. I ask them what the numbers are. I ask them, what is that interest rate based off? What score? And I ask them who I want them to pull an inquiry from for a loan. Because I have one or two banks that I bank with, and I know with my score I'm going to get approved. Right. So I tell them who I want. I don't let them run my credit with 20, 30 different vendors from who knows where, and some of them we don't even know ever heard of the name. And I don't let them do that. I tell them who I want, what I want, and I tell them what I want, and if they don't have what I want, then I won't. Right. So it's all about being in control and understanding, and when you have that understanding and control,
it comes with the knowledge, right? You get the information, then you become more confident in what you're going
to. I know what I'm talking about, and they're so used to people not knowing, and they're just so used to being in control of the situation, and sometimes they get irritated with me because they're like, do you want a vehicle? And I'm like, yes, I want a vehicle, but I want to make sure that I'm clear and we understand, because at the end of the day, it's my money that's going to go into this loan. It's my commitment to, 4, 5, 6 year loan. And I'm going to be stuck with that. Not you. I am. So I want to make sure that I understand. And I always see people around me that are struggling or just saying yes to everything. And I would look and I would be like, I just want to help them. I want to help them. I want to help our senior generation. I want to help these younger generation, because they don't know when they're getting taken advantage of, and it's not right. And so as I was reaching towards wanting to leave the company to start a new chapter, I decided I did not want to leave credit. I didn't want to leave the credit industry. How can I continue to be in that industry? And I thought it was a great opportunity to start my own business. And it's something I never did, something I was afraid to do, something I didn't believe in myself enough to do. It took months for me to break through that courage to come out and do it. And I did. And I'm happy I did. I've met so many people along the way. And I've been able to help so many people along the way too. People who want their credit in place where they want to get a home, or they want to work on a project on their home, or they want to just do better because they know they can do better, but they just don't know how.
Right.
So I like being that person for them. And I always tell people, if you're at their dealership or you're somewhere and they're talking credit and you're not, just text me. Text me, because once you work with me, it doesn't have to be when we're done. It doesn't have to be that's all. I'm there. Like, let me know, because I want to help and I want to continue to help. And if you're in a bind and you're not sure, let me know and I'll answer it for you, or I'll look it up for you. I'm really, I've always
supporting them because they supported you, right? Yes. So yeah, that's awesome. That's great. See, one of the things that we teach people in my industry, which is financial protection, is save your money. Don't spend on the new car. Save your money. And when you've built up your money to the point where you can now borrow against it, you can borrow against that money in an index universal life. Keep your money in the index universal life. Pay yourself or not pay yourself, and not have to pay the dealers and not have to pay a bank. You pay yourself and keep your money growing for as long as, I guess, you're alive, because that's what you're doing. You're being your own bank. So it's a little different, and it does take a little, work, because, you don't come into thousands of dollars overnight. But if you really want to, credit is great because it helps you get places, but use it to your advantage.
Yeah,
right?
And it's a tool. It's part of that, the whole financial spectrum. There's so many different areas within the financial solutions that it's a tool that you can leverage when you need it, if you need it. And then you have your other financial solutions, like your IUL and other things like that, to continue to help you build.
Right.
Because
that's what it's about, building.
Yes, because credit is a piece of it. Yeah. It's not the whole thing of it, because there's still your financial behavior, and then of course your savings and what you want for your future.
Discipline.
Yes, lots of discipline.
So it's great. That you created some books, right? Are you working on some books?
Yes.
And they're on credit scores, how to maintain your credit score. What are they about?
The first book that I have is Building Your Confidence with Credit. And it has everything from what a credit score is, how to read your credit report, how to dispute any inaccuracies or outdated information on your credit report.
How long does a credit have to be out there?
Yes, how long certain accounts are on your credit. And then I talk a little bit about the laws. I don't go too much in depth with it because that's a whole nother thing, and that
you can help them.
Yeah, that I can help them. I can help there. And then I talk about what credit repair is and how important it is for you, and how better credit can impact your life and your overall credit stability. So I have that one, and then the business credit one is how to start building business credit, because they do go hand in hand. When you have a small business, you want to have good credit, because your business doesn't start off with any type of credit. So they're going to look at your behavior,
right,
and they'll build off that. They'll look at your financials. But if you're not established,
score, right?
Yes.
Before the business.
They want to look at your score. They want to look at and make sure you have, money coming in, and then you're responsible with your money. And then they'll start. You can start small with some business credit cards, and then once you get that, and once you get your financials flowing within your business, you can start applying for other business budget. And then that's how people grow.
Grow. That way is, but again, back to discipline.
Yes,
discipline. It's all about discipline.
Discipline.
Wow, that's great. So if you all are looking into repairing your credit or getting yourself ready for business credit and you don't know what to do, how to do it, Linda Medina, how do they get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me at my phone number is 210-643-4513, or you can reach out to me on Facebook, Linda Medina. My personal Facebook is Linda Medina. I also have my Creating Quantum Solutions business Facebook, or my website. You can contact me there or set up a consultation, and that's at www.creatingqsolutions.com.
Awesome, yeah. Great. So let me ask you a little bit more on the personal side. Now, what influenced you? Like, was there a specific person in your life? Maybe a woman? A mom?
Yeah. So what influenced me was my mom. Mm-hmm. So my mom passed away when I was 25. So that's already, it was 16 years ago. And my mom, she never talked about her, and it's inspiring in a different way. But she never talked about her finances, and she always had the control over those and never really talked about it for us. And when she passed away, we lost the house, we lost everything, and that was hers, because our understanding was she was buying to own, but according to the person that was working with her, she was renting. But that's not the communication.
She was in the lease portion of it.
It was she was only renting, she was never buying, apparently according to him. And at the time, I was pregnant with my first child, and I was going through a separation. So it was a lot of mess, and it was a lot of stress. And when you think of something like that, I'm thinking I'm gonna need an attorney. I don't have any money. I think attorneys need a lot of money. I don't know what to do. My siblings, none of them had jobs or anything like that, and so we couldn't. You know, he at the time he said, "Well, if you want to buy the house, you can buy it for $90,000." That did not make sense to us, because when I had conversations with them, I mean, mm-hmm. I grew up in that house. I was already maybe 20. Sudden, the house was never hers. Find anything, and I just felt this person took advantage of her. And my mom, she only went to seventh grade. She trusted people. This person helped her. My dad left when I was 2, and he was like, "Well, if you pay this much each month, I'll give you the house." But there was never anything written. There was never anything. She trusted him. We grew up in that house. We lost it, and it was devastating because it was the only thing we had. My mom didn't have life insurance. She didn't have. Well, actually, she did. We found out she did have life insurance, and it was a $10,000. But it was just enough to pay for the funeral expenses, and that was it. And I'm still saddened by this day to the loss of that house, because I still pass by every now and then, and I'm like, that's the house we grew up in. I wish we would have been able. Now what I know now, I wish I would have knew then, because I would have saved that house, and I just didn't know any better then. But learning that and learning it, that whole situation is what inspired me, because I don't want that to happen. I don't want other people to be taken advantage of.
I understand completely. That's one of the number one reasons that I look out for real estate agents to join me in my journey of educating America on financial literacy. Because if you feel that insurance is an expense, it's not. It's an investment in your future. Look at the situation that your mom went through. She wouldn't have had to go through it, because just how a real estate agent puts you in a house, they can also put you with that person, or provide you that product that maybe you're going to pay $50 a month, but if the inevitable happens, the family's secure. At least protect yourself for the amount of your home.
Yeah.
And that's an easy product for an agent to just offer. I remember when I was in real estate, we offered it, but I was processing closing compliance. I did all that in the real estate arena. But I never heard of people insuring their homes in that fashion. I heard of people insuring their homes in case they fell behind on their loan, which is what the banks want. You know, they want to make sure that they get their money, right? But it's about protecting you and your family, and that's so important. And you know, I feel a huge what is it called, debt, because I know it, to let people know about it, right? Because it's just there's no reason to go through that.
It's life changing, and in situations like this, I wish we could have kept the house. It was, like I said, it was the house we grew up in. It was the house that my mom worked so hard for, as a single mom and 5 of us kids, to pay for. And it would have been the only thing she would have left for us behind, and we lost it. And because we didn't have that insurance, and she had to trust in somebody who took advantage of her not knowing, anything about this process. And it was a shame. And when I asked him to see the work or the paperwork, he kept avoiding me. And I wanted to get a lawyer. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to talk to. I was middle child. I didn't have support from anyone outside of that. And I felt like the only thing left was just to let it go. $90,000. We don't have it. We don't have proof. What are we supposed to do? So we ended up losing it. And from then on, I felt that I wanted to make sure that everything I do, I understand. And learning credit is something that, again, I was blessed to learn within this company. And so it's what I can offer, and it's how I can help other people. And even though it's a small piece of it, it still can make a big impact.
A huge impact, because of the growth, that you have accessible to you, because you're disciplined.
And not only that, but not only for the individuals, but that I would be able to teach, but they can teach their children. They can teach other family members. Yes. And I never learned anything about credit in school. I think some schools may offer some financial literacy, but for the most part, they really don't. So it's really up to
us
to teach our children, and then our children to teach their children. I think it's getting a little bit better, but there's still so much out there that needs that education is still very needed out there. When I graduated high school and I started college, somebody approached me with a clipboard, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to apply for a credit card?" And I said, "Sure."
I was gonna say, "Do you want to go to the Army?"
And
it's like we left and came back. Okay.
And then I applied for a credit card, and then I got a $500 Capital One in the mail, and I was like, "Oh, I got lots of money." And so I started charging it up. I charged up that $500 maybe in like a couple of months. And then I was like, okay, let me just pay the minimum and I have good credit. No, it's not how it worked.
And lots of kids are coming out of school now in debt.
Yes.
Wow, it's like
they are. And then it's so easy to start charging your credit card for everything, where it gets out of hand and the interest gets out of hand, and you're at a point where you can't pay it. You can't pay it, and or you're paying that, and a big chunk of your paycheck's going to that, and
you can't do anything else because you got to get rid of this.
And that's where a lot of people just say, "Oh, I'm just gonna let it go. It'll be on my credit for so many years. I don't care."
No,
but you want to care, because you never know when you're gonna need to leverage your credit. You never know, like, if you don't have a good savings plan, if you don't have your assets in place, it's going to you may need it to leverage, and you can, like, if something happens, let's say your tires go out and you need to replace your tires, your fridge goes out and you need a fridge, and you don't have the warranties or anything like that, that's where you can leverage your credit.
So if you're looking for a way to get started, you need financial education, credit repair education, guys, reach out. There's a phone number, a website down there. Linda's giving you her information. Go ahead.
Yes. You can also email me at linda@creatingqsolutions.com. Again, my website is www.creatingqsolutions.com.
So tell us a little bit about your journey getting here. Has there been any obstacles that you've had to overcome?
A lot of my obstacles have been more of my internal self. Again, I earlier I said, I had a hard time believing in myself, and I didn't come from I don't know, like a ideal good environment. It was more of just a really toxic, bad environment growing up, and everyone around me, nobody graduated school, high school, everyone dropped out. So between 7th grade and 10th grade, and I didn't have anybody to look up to at all, like no aunts, relatives, anybody, no, and any kind of mentors, and it was just the gang life, and that's the path that I was surrounded by and I was going towards, and but something inside me always said there's more to life than this. There has to be more to this. Like, this just can't be it. Like, there just has to be more. But my mentality was like, well, people like me, Hispanic, in this type of environment, we don't do stuff like that. Only rich people do that. Only, white people do that. Only, white people have insurance. And that was just what was fed into me. And that's what I believed. And so I stopped believing that and just wanted to believe different. And so yeah. And so I am believing in myself. And just believing in myself too. And there was a year of my life where I was homeless in my teen years. I ran away from home, and I was staying place to place. And it just, one day I realized, what am I doing? Like, I'm not stupid. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? And I had dropped out of school 10th grade, and then I decided I wanted to go back to school. And so I called my mom and I want to come home. And she's like, okay, you can come home, but I'm not putting you back in school. Because since everybody dropped out, she was like, we're not going to do this again. And I said, okay, well, I'll find a way to get myself back in school. And I did. And that was the first.
It was like a challenge that pushed you to grow to that.
Yes,
right?
And I did. And I put myself in a school, and it was kind of far away from home, but it was the only school that I convinced somebody to be my guardian. To be my guardian, so I can go to school. And I said, I'm just going to go to school and I'm going to focus on my work, and that's it. I ended up being the first to graduate from high school. And then going to college, I was like another mountain, and I'm like, I don't know, I win it, but I was like, I can't do this. This is too much. But then later I said, you know what? I think I can do it. And it was another hurdle to go to college and get a degree. And I was like, oh my God, like, I never ever thought, where some people think it's just part of their life plan. I never thought.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
It's not.
Again, discipline.
It's just discipline and effort. And I never thought I could do it. And then I went and got a master's degree. And I'm like, oh my God, like, anybody can do this. And it was just those beliefs in myself that I just didn't think I could do it. And it was just very important to me because, like I said, my family education wasn't a high priority. And my mom, she didn't go past the 7th grade, but before she passed, she was like, you're the best daughter, and I just want you to be happy.
So awesome.
And she was like, I just want, you made me so proud.
Yes.
So
yes, I can imagine, because you overcame all those obstacles that she had blocking her.
Yes.
Girl, we're gonna cry. It's a cry session. That's exactly how I feel about my mom and grandma. My mother-in-law, who was an entrepreneur, that she was the one that I saw, build and do, and yeah, those obstacles stopped them, but that's why I feel the passion to move beyond it, because it's not about you, it's about showing everyone that we can.
Yes.
We can. Let's grow above it. Let's push forward. And yeah, maybe school's not for everyone, but you can study and you can learn on your own. There's YouTube. I keep repeating it. YouTube, books. Learn what's in your passion. Learn what helps you.
Add a skill and whatever it is. And I agree. Mm-hmm. Even though I did the education part of it, I did that for me. It was meaningful to me. And one thing too with my mom is that, she could barely read, and she was a CNA for a certified nurse assistant for the whole time uh, of our life, and that was what put food on the table. That is what drove her to. She had to work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and that fortunately that meant us being home alone a lot and having different babysitters until we were old enough to just be by ourselves. But that wasn't the greatest situation either. But her idea of providing for us was just having food on the table and a roof over our head. But before she was able to be a CNA, she told me that she had cried because she couldn't read her test to pass. And there was a nurse who read the questions for her, and she always told me if it wasn't for that nurse reading the questions for me, I would never have had this.
That angel in her path.
And so she always wanted all of us to do better, but we were all stubborn and hard-headed. and myself for a moment, but I was able to, her strength, she didn't give up. Even though she could not read very well, she did not give up, and this person stepped in to help her, and she just, that's what she did the rest of her life, to provide for us. And I wanted to build on that. I wanted her to know that she did do something good for us, that she did build a foundation for us to be successful, because what she knew how to be a mother at that time made me who I am today. The perseverance that she had made me who I am today.
We have to grow above feeling that we're the victim and rise above and making something for ourselves. And that's, something that challenges a lot of us nowadays, that we've been through so many things in our lives that we stay stuck in that victim mentality. I mean,
Yes.
In 2004, I was diagnosed with a neck injury. After coming home from a fabulous Disney trip, I rode on all these roller coasters with my kids and having a time of our lives, right? So we come back home and all of a sudden I can't move my neck, right? So then I go for an MRI and the doctor says, you're going to have surgery because your bone's puncturing the nerve, blah, blah, blah. And since then, I've lived in chronic pain, later diagnosed as fibromyalgia, went through several years of woe is me, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to rise above it, pain's always going to be there, but pain makes you stronger, helps you, rise above those challenges. And yeah, I could have lived the rest of my life, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect because not every day is a good day, especially when you have that disease, but you just get the anger and make life happen, because if not, life goes by and then you don't do anything.
Yeah.
All those years were wasted.
Life is gonna continue going, and it's what do you want to do at that time as the days are progressing? How are you gonna make each day count? Because we don't know what where we're gonna be a week from now, a year.
Right.
But it's gonna pass, and you're just gonna pass.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Keep doing the same thing? Keep being miserable? Have that victim mentality, or start making some goals and doing something for yourself?
One of the things that really helps me is now that I realize that everything that comes out of my mouth, my body is a living being. So every cell of my body listens to those words. So if you use negative words, they're coming out of your mouth, your whole body's hearing, especially your brain, and they believe it. It believes it. So we need to change the way we talk to ourselves, the way we treat ourselves, and bring ourselves up. And that's one of the things that I so love about Women Unlimited, that we empower each other, we work with each other, we grow, collaborate together. And yes, some of us have those blockers in our heads that we need to work through. But surrounding yourself with people that want to see you grow, want to see you make a difference is one of the key things that you need to do. If you're around people that are gossiping about you, that are not wanting good for you, that's not the group for you. Yeah. Move on. It's hard. It's hard to say bye to those kinds of people.
It is because that's what you're used to, or that's what you settle with, or you don't always understand or know your own value. You just kind of deal with it. Mm-hmm. But no, nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves to be spoken to about that. really deserves to be around people that bring them down.
Do what makes you happy. Find your purpose and help people, because at the end of the day, that's all we have: love and people and our surroundings. And whether we decide in the morning to be happy or not be happy, make that choice to be happy. It's a much better life. It's a much better life.
Be more intentional. You don't have to wake up and say, let's say holiday goes. No, you set the tone. You set the tone no matter what happens. You set the tone for the day.
I always say, pain is not the boss of me. So let me ask you, let's move on. What do you do to balance work, life, the kids? Because I know you have a little one.
Yes.
How do you handle all that?
What really helps me is this year. What's really helped me is I've been walking a lot. Just the whole fitness, just getting healthier, walking, making it a part of my day rather than a chore or something I have to do. I try to do, if I can only do 10 minutes, 15 minutes walk around the neighborhood or so, then that's what I do.
You did something.
Yes, and that's what I do to help me with my day. And then my scheduling things out, and then also setting boundaries. This year I've worked on setting boundaries. Mm-hmm. I used to say yes to everybody and everything. Now I'm like, no. But just depending on what it is, I think about, okay, is this going to be too much? And I try to project what's going to happen. If it makes sense with me, if it aligns with what I'm doing, and if it's not, then I move past it and just focus on things that are going to add value to my life. I love my family. My family is very important to me, so I intentionally make time to do family stuff. And then, of course, my spouse. Yes, and then with my spouse, we intentionally make time to have our lunch dates, to have our date nights. And then with my daughter, she's 1, so she's the attention queen right now. So when I have her, it's all about her. And then I also, because I have my 2 teens, so I balance that. So I make time for everything and just manage my time.
The schedule really works. Right? When you
Yes,
put everything on the calendar.
I remember I used to see people put everything on the calendar. They're like, let me check my schedule. And I'm like, whatever. Now I'm like, hold on, let me check my schedule.
Let's make sure we can
do it. Because you can't remember everything, and you want to make sure that if
you committed, you follow through.
You commit, and you want to follow through. And the calendar has really been helpful for that. But just to balance my overall physical and mental health, it's just like I said, doing some exercising, taking time for me. Before I used to feel guilty for doing stuff for myself. Yeah. Now I do stuff for myself all the time. Yay. and then being around our group, Women Unlimited group, and other Women Unlimited group has been really beneficial too, because a couple of years ago I was thinking about my life and where I was going, and I was like, I really don't have any women to look up to. I really don't have anybody inspiring surrounding me. I need that in my life. How do I get it? And so I just started going to networking events, and I would go by myself because I would ask my friends, but they were not like me. They were like, I don't like that.
You wanted to go out to the bar.
Yes, the bar and the club, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'll go by myself, and I was still dealing with those insecurities. Oh my God, I'm by myself. What is everybody gonna think of me? But I forced myself to go, and I forced myself to sit at different tables to meet different people.
That's awesome.
And it just started. I just started improving on.
You become more comfortable with it, right? Because they're there for the same reason, to meet someone, and maybe you're that someone that they were waiting to meet. As far as what you do in your industry or in the credit world. So that's awesome.
And
that's
it was
great.
like a whole new world, because I'm like, oh my God, are these really like real people? Like, I thought these were people only I saw on TV.
Right?
Like, there's actually people like this. There's actually people that don't want to backstab you and talk about you. And there's actually, like, this is real life. I'm telling you, this was like a whole new world for me. This is not the world that I was brought up in. It's a whole new world, but I love it and I embrace it, and I'm happy that I made those steps to be here or whatever. Or wherever I go in the future, I'm happy because I know it's going to be good. I know I'm going to meet good people.
Yeah, great. So join Women Unlimited, www.womenunlimitedsa.com. Join us in the journey to empower and collaborate with women and grow.
Yes.
Because that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So let me ask you another question. What would you change about your life now? What, like, if you could, a genie came and said, Linda, I am going to grant you a wish. What would that wish be? What would you change?
Oh, that's a tough one. What would I change? What would I change? I don't know. That's hard. I mean, I'm sure I could think of something I could change. But right now, at the moment, I feel like everything I've been through has just helped me be better internally and help me accomplish and become who I am. But I don't know. Right now, well, off just the top of my head, if I could change anything, I want to be in a bigger house. Give me a bigger house with a pool.
She needs some extra cash.
With a pool for summers.
Oh, nice. So, do you have any goals set for yourself before the year ends, or for a certain specific time?
Well, actually, I just started on Monday. I started a tax course. So I started an 8-week tax course. So I'm excited about that. Next year I'll be able to add that to my services. And so that's one of my goals to finish. And then a couple of months ago, I had joined a wait list for it's a Bank of America certification for women in entrepreneurship. Certification for women in entrepreneurship from Cornell University.
But what is it?
It's an online program. It's an online certification that you learn these courses from there. And it has different. There's 6 courses. They're 2-week courses, and they involve everything from building your business to persuasion and negotiation, customer discovery. Also, some levels for entrepreneurs. And I completely forgot about it. I got an email the other day, and they said, "Hey, you're invited to enroll." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, totally forgot about that."
Awesome.
But I start next week, so I will be doing that as well.
That's great.
And then as I mentioned, I started a fitness wellness journey this year. And so one of the goals that I had set for myself by the end of the year, I wanted to walk a 5K, like an actual, 5K somewhere. So I actually just reached out. Not yet. I actually just reached out to a friend of mine who's always doing these different 5Ks, 10Ks, all these different marathons. And I said, hey, before the year's over, this is one of my goals. Can I join you? So she sent me, it's a Santa one. It's a Christmas one.
Girl, you get a train.
So it's for December. So I said, hey, let's do it. Let's sign up. So I'm excited.
So 5 miles? Is that what it is?
Well, a 5K is actually 3.1 miles.
Oh, okay. So
which is reasonable.
Yeah, it's reasonable. That's reachable. You're not gonna die.
Yeah, it's reasonable. I've been walking for the past couple of months. When I first started walking, I could only walk 15 minutes before I was out of breath. Before my back and my knee ganged up on me and tried to push me to the ground. Now I can walk 3 to 4 miles easy.
The more you move, the better it is for you.
Yes. And the consistency and discipline. And so that was another one of my goals is I want to do that before the end of the year. Is just join a legit 5K and do that. So I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. That's great. Yeah, no, definitely setting up things like that keep you going. Keep you going because you know you made that commitment, so it gets you out there.
And then as far as my business, I am talking in partnership with an admin team and adding an admin team to my credit space. So that's going to be really good. Wow, and as well as just being more consistent and providing more education out there because life happens. There's a lot of things going on, but I want to make sure I continue to provide that consistency to the people that want to know or the people that don't know they need to know this. So I want to be able to provide that.
And you have a workshop coming up, don't you?
Yes, we have a workshop coming up, and this is actually a social media clinic. So there's gonna be a 3-part series, and it's going to be myself, Brenda Ames, and Maria Rendon.
Okay.
And Maria Rendon from the Women Unlimited group, and she has her business, Digital Media. Brenda Ames, of course, the president of Women Unlimited. And we're going to be teaching on
Facebook
branding, Facebook group automation, and the selfie stick, and bringing bigger audiences to your people. So that'll be the first. The first workshop is October. It's going to be on Friday, October 13th, and then we're going to have.
It's
one
during the same time that
Yes.
Tia talks.
And then we're going to have one in November and December. So if you're looking to grow your business in the social media field and you want some additional social media skills and tips to add to grow your business, this is an awesome opportunity.
So that y'all can go out and get a ticket. There's still time.
Yes.
Y'all haven't sold out yet.
We haven't sold out yet. There's still plenty of time.
And there's plenty of room, and it's going to be here at the Evolve Medical Group Center. And we want to take a minute to thank them for the opportunity to hold the podcast here at their location. They have wellness, and they also have a spa, so you can reach out to them for their treatments or anything that you may need that involves the spa or the medical part of it at 210-999-5039. Yeah, so that's great. I mean, I was really looking forward to it. I'll probably take in maybe the first 30 minutes because I'll be here.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be right down the hall.
Yeah, I'll be down the hall, but I'll rush over here. And well, I really appreciate you taking time to come out. It was a fabulous conversation. You're welcome back anytime. As far as your books, where did they go out in the first
Well,
book?
I will go ahead and announce it in the group when I post the stores where I need to put them in, but I'm trying to make sure that everything flows correctly and downloads correctly because it is an ebook. So once I have it in, I'll make the announcement. But I was reviewing it. I was reviewing the ebook for like the 100th time because I want to make sure that it's good and there's no errors and everything flows because it's my first one. But I just need to go ahead and just put it out there.
Yeah, because I mean, there's kinks, there's mistakes, just like here. I mean, this is our second show, and we've had to work around some technical difficulties, but we want to add more. Like you see now, we have the frame. You know, as you move, you got to take that leap and take the first step and just do it. The second step will be easier. The third one, the fourth one.
Yeah. And what the book also includes is letter templates. So you don't have to. When I teach you how to dispute items on your credit, you don't have to prepare the templates. The templates will already be prepared for you. You just insert and remove insert your name and information.
So awesome. I mean, that's so nice of Linda to take the time to create this for all of us, because everybody needs a little credit help here and there all the time. It's a part of life.
Yeah, and the book, it's not going to be a whole, expensive thing. I'm probably looking like $20-$25, something simple.
Reasonable.
You can purchase it, and I want to be transparent and say that a lot of credit information, you can find it all over the internet. It's all out there.
But you have to take the time.
Yeah,
You've already done that.
You have to take the time to look for it. You have to take the time to make sure that it's credible websites that you're looking at. But however, I put it all together. I gathered all the information. It's a done-for-you book. And it's a do-it-yourself guide. And it has all the information. And then again, it has the letters for you. It has the addresses that you need. There's everything you need to start disputing and looking at your credit report.
Great. I love it. We're definitely going to be looking out for it, and we appreciate all your time and effort that you took in to go do it, because like I said, that's going to make life so much easier for so many people.
Yes. And I work during the day, and I have my children, and then I'm working on this ebook. So
that's why I'm like, how do you balance it? Because you're here, you're there, you're doing this
a little bit every day.
And scheduling.
Scheduling
definitely helps. Well, again, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you taking the
I
time to come
appreciate you
in.
having me.
Let's take a little selfie real quick before you leave. All right.
Awesome.
And guys, I think we've come to the end of our hour. So, B, were you gonna come in? Did you want to come and say hi? No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for Tia Talks today. Look out for us next Friday at 12 o'clock noon. Come on down. Send me a message or give me a call if you'd like to be on the show. We're definitely looking for women that inspire our community by transforming, inspiring, or supporting others. Again, thank you for joining us today. Have a blessed weekend. Tia Talks out.